Hi, I'm Rick here at Watertronics. Today we're going to take apart this horizontal centrifugal pump for changing the mechanical seal. Got the plumbing removed. First we're going to take off this volute case. Typically there's 8 bolts. Just for timing, I've got some of them removed already. And we'll pull that away. Get a little help here. Okay. Second thing we're going to do is we're going to take the center bolt out that bolts the impeller onto the motor shaft. Okay, that's off. In a lot of cases you can slide the impeller right off. In a lot of cases they're stuck like this one is. The vanes on these bronze impellers are very thin, so if it's really stuck you would damage it by putting a gear puller or a wheel puller on those vanes. So the way to get that off is we're going to unbolt the motor adapter. And then we'll put a puller on there and pull the whole thing forward at once, and that'll force the impeller off. Okay, motor adapter is unbolted. I've got a puller here that this happens to be a homemade contraption. That's a multi-purpose one. But with this one I'm able to pull against 2 of the mounting holes here. You can use a regular gear puller with the finger type that goes around here. Okay, I'll put my puller on here, and of course the key is still in that shaft. You want to stay with the end of your puller, you want to stay off of that key, stay off to the side of it. Okay, I got it positioned in the right spot there. Now this is going to want to spin, which doesn't really hurt anything, but I like to hold it still. You just put a little something in the vane, and I can feel it starting to move already. So we're pulling the motor adapter and the mechanical seal and everything all at once. So basically the motor adapter is pushing the impeller off the shaft. Motor adapter is free from the motor. There we go. The impeller came free. These out of the way. Now we can slide the impeller off. And we've got a spring behind there. The outer seal. I should say the outer half of the mechanical seal. We've got our key in there. Okay, now we'll pull this motor adapter right off, and that has the other half of our seal, the old seal. Now we'll inspect this seal bushing. This one's got a few scuff marks on it, but it's not scored, it's not damaged. They usually aren't. If it is damaged, you need to heat that up with a torch. Get it pretty hot to slide it off because it is sealed on there with Loctite. And if you do have to take that off, you'll just clean up the shaft with some emery paper, apply Loctite all the way around when you slide the new bushing on, and run it around. Make sure you got a good seal because it will leak from under that bushing if it's not sealed all the way around. So to replace the seal in is the reverse. We've got our motor adapter. The first half of the seal. We use Moly Coat 111, which is like a valve lubricant. It's sort of like, looks like RTV, but it doesn't harden. You need to lubricate that rubber seal in order to slide it into the motor adapter. I slide them in there. Try to keep oil and gunk off the face of it. You don't really want grease on that. We use this because we use it on everything, but it's suitable for pumping potable water, which some of our pumps do. So motor adapter goes back on. It's common for that to fall out like that. Okay, our adapter is good and snug. Just carefully push this back into that bore and take the second half, the carbon half of the seal. Same thing, a little bit of lubricant on there to help it slide over the bushing. That slides up. Then comes our spring, which a pitfall can be if it doesn't stay in place like that, because it does go over this shoulder on the impeller. So if you're doing this in the horizontal position like this, I know a lot of people like to stand them on their back. I just put a little bit of that moly coat on there. It just holds it in place for me for a minute while I put the key back in there. Line my keyway up. Slide the impeller back on. See, it doesn't want to go all the way. Sometimes they'll go all the way, sometimes not. You can tap on them a little bit if you need to. I use like a rawhide mallet, just a little bit. You don't want to go too crazy because you're pounding against the bearings in that motor. But this one's on far enough that the bolt will reach. So it's a stainless steel bolt and a washer, and there's a little bit of Loctite on that thread. If not, you can put some on it. Let's see, this one I can catch it in the end of that motor shaft. And then I use the impact. This is an adjustable one. I use a low setting. That way you can just hold on, and this bolt will draw that impeller onto there. There it is. I'm ready to put the volute case back on. You may get a replacement O-ring in that seal kit. If not, you need to check this O-ring to make sure it's intact all the way around. And that also, I like to put a little bit of lubricant on that. Helps this slide on. Now when I put these on, there's 8 holes. I put in 2 opposing bolts in. And I'll tighten those 2 down. I'll snug those 2 down. Oh. A little bit of casting in the way on that one. I like to snug those down, and then I don't have any plumbing on here. I can reach in and turn this and make sure that motor turns freely, and that way you know everything is back and where it's supposed to be. Once you got that, you're good to put all the rest of the bolts back in. You're good to go. You got a new seal in there.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.